me get to this actual first topic. Like, do you think women comply with the needs of men in relationships today?
What are the needs that you're talking about? Can you like clarify what it is?
This, I guess, needs as far as, you know, what makes a man happy as far as in a relationship. Like, you know what I mean? Like men, I think men, from my experience, at least in my relationships, the relationship very much becomes one-sided, and some women, at least in my experience, think that the relationship is about them being happy most of the time. Like, you get what I'm saying? So they don't really cater to a man's happiness or his needs because they feel like they are the ones that always has to be happy in that relationship. I think sometimes that's how men operate as well, because we're so busy trying to please our women that we do neglect our own needs and happiness as far as in a relationship. Like, you get what I'm saying? So,
but what's a man's needs though? That's the thing. Like, what's a need? Like, what's
respect,
like
companionship, someone to listen that's gonna listen to me as well as I'm listening to them. You know,
because I feel like we provide that and still get played. Like,
but also you gotta. Every man is not the same. You gotta ask your man what he needs.
Why did you get with me in the first place if I didn't provide those things in the first place?
Maybe he was providing them things in the beginning.
Yeah, maybe. We all know people provide, they always put their best foot forward. Like, you know what I'm saying, in the beginning, and then once they... Well, yeah, I mean, that's the thing too, but, you know, once they get that relationship, men and women, they do the same thing, right? But once they get that significant other in a relationship, then they start to, you know, not do the same things that they did before, and now it becomes, all right, well, you got to keep me happy, you know what I mean? So I think, you know, as far as the men, I think that's where they're coming from, and, like, you know, even you asking that question is like, what are men's needs? It's like, men are human creatures, just like we have
but
needs.
I feel like
like,
we
you know
give it our all and then we get tired, and then that's when it ends. That's how it is. That's how it is. What woman starts off a piece of shit woman? It's always where we do the most. You guys doing the bare minimum, and then we go to doing the bare minimum.
Y'all start off doing the most?
Sometimes I feel like women don't appreciate the small things that guys do. They overlook that. And then the guy starts depreciating because it's like, oh, I did this little small thing and you didn't recognize that. So now I'm going to act the fool.
I also feel like it has to do with like your partner's love language. If you're not able to know how your partner likes to be loved, then you're not going to be able to make them happy because you're not loving them the way that they like to be loved. Exactly. I could love you the way that I could love you. I like physical touch and words of affirmation. But if that doesn't do that for you and yours is like acts of service, me loving you as the best as I can isn't going to make you happy because I'm not giving you those acts of service that you feel loved.
But do you think that women take the time to learn their man's, love language?
I feel like men are scared to be vulnerable with their love languages, which is why, I feel like, has anybody even ever asked you that? Like any of your partners? Like, how do you like to be loved?
That's what I'm saying. I've never been asked that.
And women will tell me their love language, but they won't reciprocate. Oh, hey, babe, what's your love? They'll damn sure tell you all like words of affirmation and all these gifts and all this other stuff.
All five, and
but
all.
Why do we have to pry that out of you guys? Why not communicate it the way we communicate it?
But why not just reciprocate the question? Like,
if
you felt the need to tell me your love languages, why can't you just be like, hey, babe,
but you didn't
these are my
ask me.
love languages. What are your love languages? Like, you know what I mean?
Like you guys say, sometimes it's hard for us to share how our feelings are, right? So maybe you bringing that up to us, we don't know what the fuck that is at some point. You get what I'm saying? It's hard for men to express their emotions and shit like that because we're not used to it. He say he never been asked this shit. You get what I'm saying? So how the fuck would he know what it is? You know what I'm saying?
That's true, I never thought to think, what's a guy's...
But I feel like y'all should take the time to know yourself. Most guys don't take the time to know themselves in order to be able to ask those questions.
And I feel like that has to do with social media because they see what, not their idols, but like rappers or ball players and what they have. So they're like, oh, what do they show? So it's like it sets almost like an idea like that's not real. And so they don't know how to be loved.
But again, we're going back to the question of, do women care about the needs of, men in a relationship?
I definitely do.
If we're talking about love languages, as a woman, why would you not ask your partner if you really want to make him happy in that relationship? Why do you have to say, oh, wow, why aren't you telling me your love language? Why aren't you asking those questions to get that out of him?
Because you guys are not asking, we're telling. So we probably expect the same thing for you guys to just tell us.
But if you say men are closed off, won't you be more open to asking him so he would feel comfortable telling you?
It's not my responsibility for you to tell me, open your mouth and tell me what it is that you want.
I think it's a partnership where you got to get the best and the worst out of your partner. You get what I'm saying? If you're communicating like, oh, okay, you might be lacking in this department. Let me help enhance this part that I can clearly get out of you.
That's not our job.
That's
your
job.
You gotta come emotionally healed. Men like to get into relationships and be emotionally unintelligent. And we get into relationships and we're emotionally intelligent. So that's why we could come on rip and say, I know what I am. Y'all want us to tell you what you are, and that's not.
No. That's not what I'm saying.
They want us to ask, but it's like at the end, we're not your moms. You gotta just communicate. Open your mouth. Yo, oh, by the way, babe,
this sounds one-sided as hell, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, that's how you like to be loved. By the way, I like to be loved X, Y, and Z.
So everything, so everything in a relationship that y'all require, y'all come with, is what you saying?
Nobody said that.
Right. So where y'all lack at, men is picking up y'all slack. So where we lack at, y'all should be doing the same. That's what is a give and take.
Yeah,
y'all looking at this, y'all.
It sounds
we shouldn't be able to do that.
Like for somebody to say, well, I shouldn't have to ask a man like what makes him happy, like what he likes.
You got to find about your partner.
But on our end, we have to do everything in our will to make sure the woman is happy. So we have to go out of way to ask the questions to make her happy.
No. When you come home and we see you in the mood, we take it upon ourselves to ask you what's wrong with you. We don't have to do that.
We do the same. We're not gonna see you in a bad mood and just be like, oh well.
Okay.
Like, that doesn't happen.
He didn't tell me.
And what do? They shut down. No, I'm good. And then it's like, I'm not gonna pry it out of you.
I do feel like
I ain't gonna lie, you sound selfish. I ain't gonna lie.
That sounds crazy to me. I couldn't be in a relationship with a woman that's saying it's not my job to care if you're happy or not. Like that to me.
You see how you see how men like
they like to flip
like who said that?
Right.
Nah.
And
you said it's not my job. I would never tell my woman that.
Feel this way and still stay.
This is all for their experience. Not every woman is the same.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I'm saying I would never tell my woman, yo, that's not my job to care about.
That's your mother's job.
I wouldn't even think of saying that.
No, we're not. It's
that's
our
your father's job.
We're saying it's not our job to ask that because we're not asking you guys. We're telling you. So why not just tell us?
No. When you're talking to someone, you do ask questions. You do figure your partner out.
Absolutely.
All right. So why is it not your job to ask and find out more stuff about a partner?
Because
so it's an open book. Like, okay, well, let me tell you this. Maybe I didn't get to that part. Maybe you are on that subject or whatever case may be. If you brought it up, it's nothing wrong with you asking me at the same time.
I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm also saying it's not my responsibility for you to communicate how you love to be loved. Just tell me, bro. If we're having a conversation, hey, I like acts of service. Then be like, hey, I like yada, yada, yada. It's a conversation, but men tend not to conversate. It's all
converse.
Whatever. You just, you know what I'm saying? Like you just...
If you feel like I'm lacking like you said, if you feel like I'm lacking, communicate that. Like, babe, you're not picking up my love language. This is what I like. I like flowers, but I feel like men don't like to seem like a pussy.
Right.
So they're not gonna say, I like flowers. Yeah. Like, no, you're not gonna say that. Right. So you want me to be like, babe, do you like flowers? You're gonna be like, yeah.
I think I'm thinking too literal. Yeah. And I think what we're trying to communicate is that if you're in a relationship with a significant other, you should take every step to, whether it's directly or indirectly, figure out your partner. That way he can be as happy as, you are in a relationship. It shouldn't be like, well, he didn't open up to me, so that's not my responsibility. And that's what I kind of got from what that might not be what you meant, but that's how I got from when you said it. It's like, well, that's your mother's job to figure that out.
I just feel like it's hard because men it's hard for them to communicate. I've tried a million times.
But I think let me put it this way: if we were, sucking your dick wrong, you would automatically tell us, right? Mm-hmm. So why do we have to pry it out of you in our emotional?
Wait, so every in your pussy roll, women say, "Oh, I can't tell my man that." So why do we have to pry that out?
I've never heard of that. Women kind of like guide men this way.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
We have numerous women on this show.
Most women be faking it. Most women be faking it. If we're gonna be on that topic, most women be faking it. That's just what it is. I gotta keep it real. Most women be faking it.
Say it again. Say it. Wait.
Hurt your feelings. I'm gonna tell you, nigga, you're not doing this shit right.
Oh, nah. That's not what I did.
So look. Wolf brought up
men. Those are pleasers.
Wolf brought up a very good point. Hold on one second, y'all. DJ Envy is married in a marriage, right? And he's in 10 years he never satisfy his wife.
Yep, I saw that.
So and she's laying in the bed with that man every night. And this is before he was successful. Okay, so yes, he said it openly, like he wasn't satisfying his wife.
Yeah,
but wait, how did he know that though?
For 10 years,
she told him. Eventually, she told him. Yeah, I saw
and
that.
It's like 7 kids later.
And if you watch 99 out of fucking 100 of our episodes, you're gonna see that women saying, "Oh, I don't know how to tell him. Why should I tell him? Oh, I like men that's more experienced." So at the same time, it's not a common thing.
I can't look out for other women because if he's not doing it right for you, you gonna let him go to the next female doing that?
You can't. You can't.
I don't care about the next
female.
No, I'm saying like you gonna let him continue with that if it's not good for you.
First of all,
you're a really good person.
Yeah, you're a really good person.
I don't give a shit.
I'm not making nobody better to send her off. Like
that's selfishness. Like you're not gonna come out and be like, "We're not doing this right now."
I am selfish.
Somebody was taking this before me.
This is not teaching you. I'm like, yo, you passed the class now. Go show somebody else.
Each one teach one.
I am not.
I'm not doing that.
When we go back to the compliant thing, I do think that's why women either date down or up. I think it's hard for women to date men that's on their actual level because when men have standards, they don't want to comply and they feel like they have to put up and do a little bit more than what you have to do with a dude that you already got a level up on, or a dude that's already successful where you don't have to do much to please them.
Can I ask something? Do you guys all know your love languages?
Yeah. We talked about that last episode.
Okay.
How long did it take you guys to realize and communicate that with your partners? Like how long did it?
I mean, in my relationship, I realized it, and she's more like, like to give gifts and stuff like that. But I had to inform her that wasn't for me. You get what I'm saying? So in a relationship, she just thought, like some partners would just assume that would make this person happy. But once you realize this is not what makes me happy, and then I think that's when I learned it.
Yeah, I think the same way. Like I didn't even know about this whole love language until she told me her love languages, and then in return she said, "Well, these are the love languages. Which one do you think would benefit? Like are yours?" And that's when I was like, I think these 2 at the time was what suited me. And I think it came down to communication, just like when we talk about sex. It's easy to assume that, a guy's going to be good in bed, or you just expect him to be good in bed. But every woman is different, just like every guy is different. Yep. So the head that you was giving your last dude might have been elite to him, but to the next dude, it might be like, this shit dirt. And there's no way for him to really know until, like, you communicate that to him, or he communicate that to you. Like, yo, your shit's kind of dirt. Like, it could be better, or whatever the case. I mean, not saying like that. Like, not saying like that, because that's not going to want to make you get better, or whatever the case. But I think it's about communication, and I just don't want to be in a relationship where it's like, oh, well, I shouldn't have to, like, you know what I mean? That to me sounds kind of crazy.
I'm not going to lie. I have to admit it, I've never thought to ask my boyfriend, what's his love language? I'm going to do that when I get home.
Yeah, I mean, you should.
Because I never thought, I just thought that guys didn't give a shit about shit like that, to be honest with you.
And I feel like
about being happy?
Not about because he seems happy, but maybe I'm doing it wrong. I don't know.
But that's all assumptions.
Because, I mean, you can tell when someone's unhappy. I mean, I don't know.
No, you can't. No, you
can't.
But that's what I'm saying. Men need to let her communicate.
I think it's because of how they're raised. Men are conditioned to be, like, have no feelings, show no feelings. Like, if you're loved too much, then you're soft or you're a simp. And if you're too affectionate, then, you know what I mean? Like, it's all this.
We should look at each other because are men being raised by us?
Right, and but that's what was coming from the older generation.
I always say this. We said this on a previous show. Like, the person that told me not to cry as a young boy growing up was my mother. Well, at the time it was my aunt, but my mother at the time. Like, you know what I'm saying? She was the one like, yo, a boy don't cry, men don't cry. Like, so this is a woman telling me not to cry. It wasn't like men are telling me this. Like, you get what I'm saying? So I think, and before I've been in relationships where I did express myself, or I was vulnerable, and then it might not came up right then, but we get into an argument and it's, oh, that's why your mama never like you said, that's why your mama like so men. I think men have been in experiences when we have been vulnerable, and that has been used against us. You get what I'm saying? So we're like, you know what? I'd rather not open up, and be vulnerable, because you might use this when we get into an argument, or you don't like something I did. Like, you get what I'm saying? I'm not saying that happens with all women, but some women will take that.
We had that conversation on our podcast where we said, like, we don't want our men crying I feel like you could be like that. Like, if you're going through an issue, whatever, you could speak it out. But if you're going to cry for every problem we have, that's to me, that's not a man. I can't feel like I'm with a female. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I can't be with, like, a too emotional kind of guy.
It's that middle ground, man. It's that middle ground.
It has to be. I mean, it's true, though. You can't be crying every single day. You face a problem, and you're over here calling me, babe, I can't.
Ain't nobody wants somebody that's going to... I don't want a woman that's going to be crying all day either.
Exactly.
But they got women that do that. And men that put up with it.
But then picture how emotionally draining that is.
I mean, women are also raised to hear "happy wife, happy life." We hear that all the time. You don't hear
What's
about
the new
happy
slogan?
husband.
But we're
What's
way
the
more
new slogan?
emotional than men.
You know,
by, like,
happy
What's the
house,
new
happy
slogan,
spouse.
man?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That's
there
what
you go.
we speak on over here.
Yeah, that's a great point. That is a great point you just made about, like, you know what I mean, and that's something that has been happy house, happy happy wife, happy life has been. It seems to men, it seems like, well, I could be miserable, but as long as my wife is happy, then I could tolerate everything else. And we don't prioritize a man's happiness because we feel like we have to always make.
Well, I'm happy.
lives.
That
But,
means
know
he's
what I mean?
happy.
Yeah, but that's not.
And that's a
I'm-
selfish way of
I'm
thinking.
so I'm very like, if my boyfriend's not happy, like, and I'm happy, I'm not happy.
Mm.
Like, I don't know. Like, it's just, it does not feel good to know that they're miserable and you're happy. Like,
Yeah,
I'm not
agree.
happy off it.
Mm.
Yeah, no, that's not. Yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
So let me. Oh, my
And
fault.
I was about to say, I think a lot of mistake that people make is loving their partner in the ways they want to be loved. So that's why I think it's important to find out. You know what I mean? Ask that question and see what are you doing
Great
right
point.
or wrong. You know what I
I
mean?
agree.
I agree.
Most definitely,
That's
100%.
definitely a way to find out your love languages.
And
The way you're
sometimes
loving
that's not even
somebody.
compatible. Like, if you can't give that person, then you need to recognize that and be like, all right, this isn't going to work for us. I can't love you the way you want to be loved,
Right.
even though I love you so much. But it's like, there's two options. You either accept that behavior for how they can love you, and then either you're going to be happy or you're not, or you have to separate yourself from that relationship and move on, knowing that you love this person, but they just couldn't love you the way that you needed.
There's not going
Love
to
is
be
not
any
enough.
successful relationship without any compromises.
Right.
And you, as much as compatible you think you are with somebody, there's going to be something that you're going to have to bend and switch over to make that each other feel comfortable with something.